Hello, welcome. It's Mr. Tipping again from Mr. T's Art Club. This is lesson 4. So today we're going to be doing continuous line drawing, and I'm also the cameraman today. So that'll be fun. Let's see if this works. So we're going to be looking at Egon Schiele. Here he is. And he does landscapes, and he splits up a lot of his landscapes with these lines, and I love the trees that he does. In particular, I like these pictures here. So you can see the dark contrast of the twiggy branches. Sometimes they're straight, sometimes they're angled, and the background's broken up as well, which is quite interesting. Have a look at this one here. You can't really tell that it's a tree straight away, but all these interesting lines. Now, although Egon Schiele uses paint in these, often his drawings will be something different. Can't really see. Aha, here we go. So you can see here one of his drawings before he does a picture, and he uses these kind of continuous lines to create the basis of a picture. So that's what we're going to start off with. Again, we're going to be using card, and this is again a pizza box. So just using the card from that. If you've got a sketchbook, by all means use a sketchbook. Or you could use printer paper or the back of an envelope, or it could be a little post-it note. It could be absolutely anything to draw on. And we're going to be using a biro pen, but if you want, you can use a felt tip, you could use a pencil, you could use absolutely anything you can find that makes a mark. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to be looking at a scene in my garden. So I'm going to be drawing this kind of view here. So you can see that there's the trees, I've got the house in the background, or the garden, or the furniture. I don't have to put everything in, and I'm just going to start by looking at the trees. So, blank piece of paper, I'll come back to the other one in a minute, and you're just going to do a continuous line drawing. Lots of loops. What it means by continuous is that I don't take the pen off the paper. Okay, so I keep building this up. Keep going and going and going until you get something like this. Then I'm going to start putting the leaves onto the trees. A bit of squiggles. You can see it kind of builds up a texture. That's the tree I'm doing there. So I might bring some branches out like this. And do some leaves like this. Keep going and going and going. I love doing stuff like this because you're not having to worry about getting it accurate. Unlike when we did the portrait, when you're really kind of looking at all the detail. On this one, you can just keep drawing squiggles, and it doesn't matter if it's wrong because you're creating it. It's how you view. Now, Egon Schiele, he sometimes uses straight lines, but on this particular one, I'm just going for curvies, okay? But it might be that the plant that you're looking at is more angular. So, say I was doing that plant there, and you see these bits all here, more angular. So say I was going to put that in front of this one down here. I'm still keeping my pen on the paper, but because the lines are more angular, it's creating a much different feel to it. The other thing you can change is the thickness of the line. Now I'm just resting that very lightly, and can you see the line is slightly different when I just rest the pen. So you can carry on building up all these different lines just using one biro pen or a pencil. But you could also start to think about other things. So I could use some colour to get a little bit of green lines going on here. This is like some kind of grass feel to it. Build up different colours. So on the petals or the leaves on here, I could possibly use a red pen, if I can find one, to do some like patterns inside. Sorry. Doing like squiggles inside the leaves there. Again, I'm not worried too much about it being neat or accurate. I'm worried about the texture. I'm worried about the line, about whether it's thin or thick. So the more you press on with the pen, the thicker the line ends up. And so I could carry on building and building in that picture up here, and I could fill the whole thing if I wanted to. Or I could leave it like it's floating in the middle. Here's one that I created earlier, where again, you can see the continuous line on the wood texture here, and also on the leaves. And then the continuous line when I've added the orange and pink to the brickwork up at the top. Sometimes I've taken my pen off the paper to create other textures, and that's okay. Oops, sorry, my thumb was in the way. So you can see the different textures and tones that are created with all the different lines. So you can have a lot of fun with this and do loads of different kinds of cool stuff. If you haven't got a garden, don't panic. It might be that you use some other things like these plants here. So I've got this crazy cactus here. So you could do the same kind of thing with a continuous line drawing there, or this lovely plant, I don't know what you call it, but that's got some interesting shapes and patterns in that I could include. So I hope you have fun with that lesson. Please email me any pictures to mrtsartclub@gmail.com. So that's mrtsartclub.com at gmail.com. This is essential for my year 9s, so you must do this as this week's homework. I look forward to you posting me some pictures on Google Classroom as well. So all the best. Keep sharing and keep drawing and keep being creative and enjoy. Bye.